Hello everyone, welcome to channel. In a recent interview, Babygirl director, Emma Seligman, revealed that her critically acclaimed film is, in part, a response to Nicole Kidman's iconic role in Eyes Wide Shut. This statement offers a fascinating perspective on Babygirl, as the film, a sharp and unflinching exploration of sexuality, power, and personal boundaries, is layered with influences from both the past and present cinematic landscape. By positioning Babygirl as a direct counterpoint to Kidman's performance in Stanley Kubrick's 1999 masterpiece, Seligman invites us to reconsider the role of women in films about sexual liberation, desire, and control. In Eyes Wide Shut, Kidman portrays Alice Harford, a woman whose sexual awakening is catalyzed by her husband's obsession with uncovering the secrets of a hidden world of extravagant, ritualistic sexual encounters. Kidman's portrayal is remarkable for its understated intensity, and her character's complex emotional journey challenges the boundaries of conventional cinematic portrayals of female sexuality. Alice's journey is marked by a quiet discontent with her marriage and a deeply felt yearning for something more, something that her husband cannot provide. However, Alice's desires remain largely unexplored in the film, and much of her role is defined by the voyeuristic lens of her husband's perspective. Seligman, whose 2022 film Babygirl revolves around a young woman named Sophie navigating the intersections of her sexual identity and emotional growth, takes a markedly different approach. Sophie's journey is one of self-discovery and empowerment, as she grapples with the complex dynamics of intimacy, desire, and control within relationships. Seligman is outspoken about her intention to center the female experience in ways that are raw, unfiltered, and unapologetic, refusing to subject her characters to the same male gaze that often dominates mainstream cinema. In this sense, Babygirl is both an extension and a subversion of the themes explored in Eyes Wide Shut, particularly in its portrayal of female sexual agency and the way women's desires are so often diminished or sidelined in favor of male-centric narratives. In Seligman's interpretation, Babygirl serves as a corrective to the limitations of Eyes Wide Shut's narrative, which, while groundbreaking for its time, still centers around a male character's perspective of his wife's sexual identity. While Alice's sexual awakening is implied, the film ultimately leaves many of her desires unexplored, allowing Kidman's character to remain somewhat enigmatic. Seligman, by contrast, makes Sophie's journey of sexual discovery explicit and visceral, allowing her character to confront not just the complexities of her relationships, but also her own inner conflicts and desires. Sophie's story is one of owning her sexuality on her own terms, without the need for validation from the men around her. The director's vision for Babygirl thus becomes a pointed critique of the ways in which women's stories, particularly those involving sexuality, have historically been framed through a male lens. By positioning Babygirl as a direct answer to Eyes Wide Shut, Seligman underscores the desire for female representation in film that is both expansive and genuine, without the shadows of male desire or control looming over it. In Babygirl, the female protagonist is not merely a reflection of male fantasies or a passive participant in a narrative controlled by a man. Instead, Sophie's journey is one of self-empowerment, where her desires and experiences are her own, and her sexuality is not something to be owned or defined by others. The emotional complexity of Babygirl also mirrors some of the psychological tension present in Eyes Wide Shut, but with a crucial distinction: Seligman creates space for vulnerability and intimacy, allowing her characters to explore their desires without fear of judgment or consequence. Where Eyes Wide Shut leaves the exploration of sexuality behind a veil of mystery and abstraction, Babygirl places it firmly in the realm of the tangible, the real, and the raw. Seligman's perspective is also informed by contemporary cultural conversations surrounding the portrayal of female sexuality. In the #Me Too era, there is a renewed focus on how women's experiences, particularly those involving power dynamics and consent, are depicted in film. Babygirl channels this energy, exploring the intersection of sexual exploration and the boundaries of consent in a way that is deeply relevant to current societal conversations. Seligman pushes beyond the boundaries of what films like Eyes Wide Shut were willing to explore, offering a portrayal of sexuality that is grounded in the complexities of today's world, where women are increasingly claiming ownership over their own narratives. In this light, Babygirl becomes a powerful cultural statement, both as a piece of art and as a feminist intervention in the cinematic landscape. By positioning her work as a response to Eyes Wide Shut, Seligman is not just creating a film about a woman's journey through sexuality, she is also crafting a manifesto about the importance of female-centered storytelling in a world that has too often marginalized or distorted women's voices. With Babygirl, Seligman asserts that women's stories, particularly those about desire, power, and autonomy, deserve to be told fully, honestly, and on their own terms.